what's going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. Welcome to the video, guys. Gonna be a long one. Sit back, relax, grab a snack, grab a beverage maybe, and enjoy. I look back at my YouTube catalog and I realize it's been quite a while, a month or two, since I've had one of these longer videos. So I thought that we would do something that we haven't done in almost a year, 9 months, since the last time that we went into the good old index, and I picked my top choice, only one, for every rarity in every faction in the game. Now, this is an impossible task, guys. Let me tell you, I'm just gonna give, it's gonna be a lot of objective, like personal opinion in here because there's so many good champions in this game by now. There really is. So let's just go ahead and jump into it here and have some fun in the video. I'm not gonna go over all of these kits in depth because I kind of want to keep it moving. I want to make it a longer video, but not a 5-hour long video like some of these have the tendency of going. And I want to know, if you think that I'm just absolutely crazy. I'm sure you guys will, plenty of you guys will think I'm crazy. Quick story before we get in here. Actually, I'll just show you, I'll try to do 2 things at once and tell you a story while I pick champions. Is that even possible? Run for your life. This is just part of my life, YouTube, right? Another part of my life is working with content creators, game developers, publishers, and a whole host of characters out there in the gaming zeitgeist, right? And we do a lot of work, especially with creators, kind of mentorship, and we've been doing this for 8 years, And check out my company if you guys want to learn. We have an amazing team, just really a family, and we do a lot of work in this space. Anyway, long story short, talking to a content creator who is struggling with like trolls and negative comments and stuff like that, right? And I thought that this kind of conversation might apply to you guys as well, right? Beyond just content creators. All right, I'm not going to choose champions and talk about this. Feel free to fast forward 1 minute if you don't care at all about this baloney. We're talking to a content creator and they're dealing with like negativity online, basically, right? And I thought this applies to just beyond YouTubers or whatever, right? And I asked their permission, is it okay to like share this with my audience? Because I thought that in both of my channels might enjoy, I don't know, this conversation, right? They were dealing with it mentally, like adding a lot of stress and stuff. And I thought to myself, like, dude, I used to be the same way, right? There's 2 bad types of people in this world. People who care what people think of them and people who don't care what people think of them, right? And for me, dude, I really care what people think of me. It sucks. It really does. I wish I didn't give a bleep, what people thought of me. But like, I kind of want to be liked, But you also have to recognize, early on, especially if you put yourself out there, and I'm not talking just about like YouTube, just talking to anything on the internet, right? That not everybody's gonna like you, right? And you have to accept that, right? Grow thicker skin, blah, blah, blah.
Stop it. Get some help.
But really, what I told him was, and what, I want to impart on you guys, maybe it only helps like 1 or 2 of you watching. Apologies for the big disclaimer here. But yeah, I feel like as long as your intentions are good, as long as you're putting out like, this is so unmasculine to say, but as long as you're like putting out like positive vibes and good intentions, in like speaking from a place of love and respect and gratitude, no matter what you do in life, no matter who dislikes you or has a problem with you or whatever, and it's gonna happen to everybody out there, right? It's not worth you stressing over, right? And it's easy to say that, but I go back to what I just said, right? All that you can control is your own intentions, and you're gonna make mistakes and you're gonna upset people, but ultimately put out some love into the world, and just try to be the best version of yourself that you can be. That's all you can control. And if people dislike that or have a problem with that, that's really on them, because as long as your intentions are good, I think that you're good, That's what I told them, and they said that, hey, come with me and you'll be... That really kind of made an impact. The next day, they said that really kind of made an impact, and I'm like, good, because that's kind of what I told myself to get over like that kind of stuff. Sorry for rambling for 4 minutes before I even talked about one champion in this game. My bad. All right, so starting with the Bannerlords rares. By the way, usually when I do these lists, I kind of write down everything ahead of time. There's going to be total gut calls. Like I'm starting a brand new account. Here, Ash, have 1 champion of every rarity. Pick them. Sight unseen, go. Dagger. I'm going with Dagger because I want a nice, solid, void affinity, decreased defense champion. I think she's really solid champion. She can actually put out some decent damage as well. Again, I'm not going to go in depth on all these champions because I already spent 5 minutes blabbing you guys at the top of the video. On epics, it really comes down to Ursula versus Archmage Helmet versus Stag Knight. Golly. There's some other good ones in there as well. But for me, I'm going to take out Archmage, and then it comes down to Stag Knight or Ursula. And I think I'm going to go with Ursula over Stag Knight. I love Stag Knight, but there's a lot of debuffers in the game. Even some debuffers who have decreased attack and defense in their kit. But not everybody has the the AoE revive on a 5-turn cooldown with increased defense and strengthen and increased attack and decreased attack on an AoE on a 3-turn cooldown. That was a mouthful, but I'm gonna go with Ursula. Staggy, I love you though. I love Stag. It's really close there. Man, there's so many good champions in this game. What do you guys think of the Fusion, by the way? He wouldn't be my choice, but I don't think some people like hate him, some people love him. I'm kind of more in the camp of liking him. Like really liking him, but he's not my choice. I'm gonna go with man, I guess I'm gonna play it safe and go with Raglan. One thing on Helier, he's a great champion, but I was a little disappointed in his shield. Like it's not as good as the Miscreated Monster shield. Anyway, I'm gonna go with Raglan. Because, I mean, Miracle is a miracle. It's a 2-turn cooldown revival with a full turn meter, you know? Like, how can I not go Raglan there? And a debuff removal on a 4-turn cooldown with a heal. So I'm gonna go Raglan, awesome base stats as well. All right, let's move it along here, Ash. Let me know if you vehemently disagree with me, by the way, in the comments below. So let's start with Legendaries this time. I'm gonna go with Lysandra. I mean, their Ethos is amazing. Arbiter is amazing. You know, Pixiel's god tier. Everybody put your hands in it. Nah, I'm joking. Lysandra is just like, she's the queen of speed in this game and turn meter control, right? And turn meter control is so important in this game. She has speed or all battles, 24%, best in the game. Tied first in the best in the game. Energize, speed, increase speed buff with the turn meter decrease and increase, fully decreased turn meter on the 82. I think she's just like an incredible champion, very fast as well. For high elves epics, I'm gonna go with for me it's between, I love Vergis, but I'm gonna go with Royal Guard over Tyrell. Sounds kind of crazy, but again, I think like these decreased defense champions and even defensive auras, they're kind of dime a dozen now. But not everybody can put out the insane damage as Royal Guard, even though he's not as good as he used to be. I don't know. I'm feeling like I might have should have went with Tyrell. But Royal Guard, I mean, he has the takedown ability, insane amount of damage. He has decreased defense, big version on his A1, 65% chance at landing, 70 with sniper mastery, and he has turn meter control on his A3 and decreased speed. Yeah, I think that Royal Guard is like, is it crazy to say that Royal Guard is underrated? I'm going Royal Guard. Let's stand by that decision. I'm going to shock the world here and not go with Apothecary as my high elf rare. Fine by me. You guys have been watching the channel a while and know that Reliquary Tender is my girl. Apothecary, I think, is like the 3rd or 4th best rare in the game, but I think that Reliquary Tender is right up there with like number 2 or 3, right? Remove all debuffs with a continuous heal on a 3-turn cooldown with a revival, 103 base speed. Sign me up. I love my Reliquary Tender. With all due respect to Apothecary, who I think is right behind her as one of the best rares in the game. Sacred Order. Okay. We have... Ooh, this is a tough one, huh, guys? I love Abyss. She's one of my favorite nukers, but I can't go with her. I love Martyr. She's fantastic, but I don't think I'm going to go with her. I think I'm actually going to go with... This is a real tough one. I love Sir Nick. I love Venus. Heck, I even love Cupidus. I like Astralon, too. I'm going to go with Cardial, though. I think the Cardial is just insanely good, man. Very fast, ally attack, increased crit rate, increased crit damage on all allies as well. Has the remove all debuffs, the block debuffs, the revive on death, 3-turn cooldown, can't be removed, on and on and on. Fast champion, good base stats. Yeah, I'm going Cardial. I actually feel pretty good about that, even over Martyr with the counterattack, which might offend some of you guys.
Hello, baby. Did you miss me?
So looking over the epics, I'm sure I'm gonna like totally just miss a few champions throughout the video as well. For me, it comes down to maybe Godseeker and Eerie in the Deke. And I'm going to give it to... Last time I went with the Reviver and Ursula. This time we'll give it to Deke, right? He has the extra turn with the turn meter, the AoE decreased defense, and the leech on the A1, and the speed in all battles, 19% for an epic. Really incredible champion. And just taking the extra turn on the A3 makes him just incredibly insane. I really love that champion. I love Mordecai. I love a lot of these champions, but let's keep it moving here, Ash. And what's my name again? The epics in the Sacred Order are not that great, man. For me, it's between Aethel and Draconis. And I think I'm gonna go, I mean, Aethel's the starting champion, so I'll go Draconis. At least he's got the shield, right? He's got the shield on a 3-turn cooldown. Sure, you know. We have some heal on the A3, some heal on the A1 as well. I'll go Draconis. I don't feel great about it though. I think the Aethel's probably in a vacuum a better overall champion, but who's gonna go with a starter, man? That's lame. All right, Barbarians. Syl the Drakes. Okay, you guys know I love Syl, and really, I just can't go with her. You guys know I love Tawana.
The deception, the betrayal, man, you deceived me.
She is like my most wanted champion because of this passive, but I'm not going with her either. I really can't, I have a hard time picking almost any champion in the game over Valkyrie, you know, and I feel like many people just gasped at me choosing her over Syl. I really do believe that Syl the Drakes, with the stun and the revive and the heal, is one of the best champions in the game. Like, I really truly believe that. But I think that Valkyrie is the best champion in the game, or at least top like 3 or 5, like 100%. Where I feel like Syl is probably, like, in my mind, like top 20, you know?
You're dead to me.
But anyway, counterattack with like the best shield in the game. Come on. With the most annoying passive in the game, with one of the highest defenses, certainly not the highest, but certainly up there. Valkyrie's just amazing in every area of the game. So a really good cast of characters here in the Legendary. Barbarian, epic. I think I'm gonna go with, it's weird, like these daily logins, High Katoon is like in the conversation as well. I might shock the world here, guys, because I don't think that most of you would likely pick her, but I'm gonna go with Skytouch Shaman. She's just one of the best healers in the game, and I was reluctant because of this passive. It turns you off with the fear and the decreased speed on herself, but she is one of the best healers in the game. And she has this good AoE attack on the A1, right? I love AoEs on the A1. And then she has Immortal Skies. It's like Cardiel-esque. Not as good because it's on a 4-turn cooldown, but just as effective in the arena, with a Revive on Death, block debuffs for 2 turns, and remove all debuffs from all allies. I'm a big fan of Skytouch Shaman. She's one of my favorite champions. And then for the rares, I think if I was starting out, I probably wouldn't go War Maiden because I can just pick her up in campaign, right? I'll go Soulbound Boyar instead, because she also has an AoE on the A1. She has an additional 25% crit on all of her abilities, which is nice. She has this ignores 75% of target's defense, and then fully depleting target's turn meter. This is a rare champion. Her multipliers are not insane. That's like the downside of her, but she can put out a lot of damage with the AoE, even on the AoE on the A1. She's really good in retaliation gear as well, or avenging set, so check that out. All right, moving it along here, Ogryn Tribe. We have... I'm gonna go with, Ignatius is really, really good. In Gurgle the Augurs, I mean, I'm not just gonna stop talking about every champion. I'm gonna go with Biggin, man. This guy's just like the monster of turn meter control because of this A3, right? Does a ton of damage, ×2, decreased turn meter, decreased speed. He's got the stun on the A2, decreased accuracy, and more AoE damage on the A1. Guy's like a damage machine. One of the best, like, just overall damage output champions in the game. All right, for the epics, let's go with... Oh, man, this is the toughest. Because, like, Man-Eater's a boss. Skullcrusher's a boss. Eurogrim's a boss. Ugo's insane. I'm not just gonna stop talking about every champion. Bullshit. If I'm starting an account, it's hard not to go with Urogrim, but he just got nerfed, and I'm so bitter that I'm not gonna go with him. And if I don't have a counterattack champion, it's hard to not go Skullcrusher. I even like Siege Hulk, man. I even like Grush. I even like Shatterbones. But I'm gonna go Ugo, man. I really think that Ugo is just tremendous. Leech on the A1, AoE decreased defense, and block buffs for 2 turns on a 3-turn cooldown. For me, that's where it goes like next level with Ugo, right? AoE attack, decreased defense, and block buffs 2 out of every 3 turns. Thank you very much. She also has a heal and a revival. I'll go Ugo. I don't feel bad about it. There's so many great champions. Definitely going to go Bellower with an AoE on every attack for my rare. Like, just no brainer. I could sit here and talk for an hour on Bellower, but I will say that Gear Grinder, though, he grew on me. I threw a little bit of hate Gear Grinder's way early on, but I maxed him out because I needed him for a secret room in Doom Tower, and I don't regret it. He's a cool champion. Certainly not as good as Belor, though, in my opinion. Krisk. Enough said, right? Didn't need me to talk about Krisk? No. AoE, AoE, AoE provoke. Increase speed on all allies. Just continuous heal, ally protect. Continuous heal on himself, ally protect. He's just one of the most incredible champions in this game. That's it. You know, with all apologies to everybody else here. Dracomorph, incredible, but yeah, it's Krisk. I don't think like many champions can change your account like Krisk can, really, you know. Lizardmen. Epics. I'm gonna go with, it's really between Aox or Ox, however the heck you say it. Venomage and Jareg for me. And I'm going to go with Jareg, actually. He's an old school champion, but 24k HP, ally protect, increased defense, and a great heal on the passive as well that can proc every turn. I'm going to go Jareg. He also has on the A1 a decreased attack too, so great for clan boss. Just a really, really solid champion. For the rares, for me, it's an easy choice. Metal Shaper. Man, there's only like 3 champions in the game who have a shield the same duration as their cooldown. 2-turn cooldown, 2-turn shield. Great for Scarab King, right? So there we go, Metal Shaper. All right, Skinwalkers. Let's go with, dude, I really, really want Leorius, man. I really want this dude. I'm gonna go with him, man. He's a new champion. This dude has absolute, I wish I was recording. He demolished me inside the arena. This dude crushed me inside the arena. Well, I just wasn't ready for him. Like the first time I went against him, and he was just like, boom. All enemies 2 times. On his A2, on his A3, another AoE with 100% true fear. What a great move before attacking puts weaken on them. What a great, you know, opening arena move. True fear on everybody. That's a 50% chance to lose your turn and put that skill on cooldown that you were going to use. Is it wrong? I feel like it's wrong to take Basher over Steel Skull, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to go with Basher. I haven't really looked a ton at the new... these new champions, AoE Leech in the weekend. I was traveling earlier this week. It's my excuse. Let me have it. I'm still gonna go with Basher. I like Basher. He can deal a lot of damage and increase the cooldown of targets skills by 2 turns is really formidable. Big fan of Basher. Has block buffs too on this A3. So he's bringing a lot to the table. I think he's an underrated epic champion for sure. For the Skinwalkers rares, there's actually a few good ones here. I actually like Greybeard, but he's also campaign farmable, so I'm going to go with Gnarlhorn. Gnarlhorn's cool because he has a provoke, an AoE provoke on a 3-turn cooldown with increased defense on himself, the weak version, but you don't run into many rares with an AoE provoke on a 3-turn cooldown. As a matter of fact, I don't think there's any besides Gnarlhorn, and he has unkillable on himself for 2 turns every 3 turns. Really, really solid rare champion. I should make a guide on him, huh? Good morning. Or is he just like old news and you guys don't care? I don't know. Let me know. Orcs, definitely Grohawk the Bloodied after his big buff. I'm just joking. By the way, guys, Nogdar, I was kind of impressed with this guy. You guys might have saw that should I do a guide on him? He's a really fun champion. You guys are going to think I'm absolutely nuts here. There's 3 choices in my opinion, right? There's Creela, Iron Brago, and Warlord. And I think that, and even Varl looks really good, but I'm not going to, he's not available yet. I want to go with champions that I'm actually familiar with, you know? What am I doing here? I think, guys, that Iron Brago is like in the conversation with Warlord. Am I insane? Dislike the video and call me an idiot in the comments if you want to. But like, Iron Brago is so freaking good, man. Warlord is good, is great. Like, not just for the arena, really everywhere. But this is the toughest choice that I've had so far because I am just an unabashedly massive fan of Iron Brago. And if I was starting an account, I might go Iron Brago, man. Call me an idiot, but sometimes you just gotta go with a champion you like and screw the haters, right? Like, I'm not playing this game for myself. I'm being a little bit defensive here, preemptively, anticipating the comments of how crazy I am. But he's got increased defense for 3 turns on a 3-turn cooldown, right? Then he has a stun on the enemy to add that as well, right? On the A3, he's got an AoE provoke. Also places an increased attack debuff, or decreased attack, excuse me, on all enemies for 2 turns. If he's under increased defense, which he always is, because he has it for 3 turns, you know, unless it's removed, obviously. And then he has like just a nasty passive, man. Increased defense of all allies by 10% of this champion's defense. So you get that AoE increased defense that, if you can build him with enough defense, like, we're talking a really significant overall boost to the entire viability of your team. I'm just like such a big fan of Iron Brago, man. He's just like one of my favorite champions in the game. But like Warlord's just a god tier champion too, so whatever. Definitely going Seer, no questions asked, right? Because of Karma Burn, man. Like, she's the best PvE nuker in the game, and it's not even close. So I'm going Seer. With all due respect to Duck the Pierce, who's a tremendous champion. Zargala, Sandlash Survivor, Vrask, like, there's a lot of good champions here, but I'm just a huge fan of Seer. This is actually a really bad cast of rares here. I'd go Veteran, I guess. There might be a better one, but I think I would go, I think some people like Ironclad, because he has the... what does he have? Remove 1 random debuff from allies. When healed, will attack all enemies, inflicting damage proportional to any surplus heal. So you can have a lot of fun with this passive. He's a really kind of unique and overlooked rare champion, but I'll go with the safe choice in Veteran. Veteran's a defense-based champion. For rares, I like defense-based champions because it's easier to keep them alive, because usually they're kind of squishy, but not defense-based champions like Veteran. He has block buffs for 1 turn on an AoE on a 3-turn cooldown. Very good and useful for faction wars. Next up, Demonspawn. Now we're getting really more tough choices here, guys. But I'm going with Duchess. It's actually not that tough for me, right? Because Directstar, like, he's one of the most useful champions in the entire game, but you can also just farm him through the Bazaar, right? So instead, we're going Duchess because she's a top 5 champion in the game as well. I promise I won't say that about more than 5 champions in this video. But Krisk, Duchess, Valkyrie so far, like, they're like upper echelon. Duchess is tremendous. I mean, she has damage mitigation on her passive. 25% AoE attacks, 15% for bosses. One of the best arena champions, and then one of the best support champions in the game. You know, like arena swift parry, support, like anything. She's just insane. And a great AoE revive, increase attack, block debuffs, and perfect veil. Yeah, that's an insane buff. Insane base stats as well. Duchess, she's one of the best champions in the game. I'm definitely going to go, like, bypass a lot of my favorite champions here. I love Umbral. Like, there's just a lot of good choices here. But it's a lure for me, and it's not even close, because she is Legendary-esque in this one skill, her A1. Decrease target's turn meter by 25% on each critical hit on 3 hits. Dude, like, no other champion has an ability like that in the game. So it's not even that tough for me. It's a lure. I'm a big fan of Diabolus, actually. She is campaign farmable, but I'm a big fan of that champion. But it's Fellhound, and it's also not very close, because Fellhound would be my campaign farmer, right? The best campaign farmer in the game. Some people say Queen Ava. Some people say Fellhound. I use Queen Ava, but I think my gut tells me that Fellhound might be a little bit faster with this A1. So I would go Fellhound for that reason. Man, that wasn't that bad. That was actually easier than I thought it was going to be. Man, the BEK Killer, I love him. Mashald, I love him. I mean, I love a lot of these champions, but like in terms of Siphi and Nekret, like those are my faves here. Siphi, Nekret, Mashald, and Bad Alcazar. The crazy thing here, guys, and this might like shock some of you or whatever, but like I actually use probably Nekret the Great a little bit more than I use Siphi. I also use Bad Alcazar probably a little bit more right now than I use Siphi, but I think that overall Siphi is the strongest, right? And I think that she's just one of the strongest champions in the game. Like she's...
Don't you dare. Don't you dare.
A top 5 champion. I said it again. She's amazing, right? She's got the block debuffs for 2 turns, increased defense, fill turn meter and increased speed, and an insane revival. Yeah, like now that I'm saying it all out loud, it's like, dude, are you crazy? You would choose anybody else over her. And then one of the fastest champions in the game too. I think the 2nd fastest or 3rd fastest, next to what, Blind Seer. And now that I say that too, I might use her actually the same as Nekret, but Nekret's cool with the ally attack and the block, this passive right here. The block debuff, strengthen, and ally protect for 6 turns at the start of the of each round, Really, really fun for the arena, especially, and the ally attack. But anyway, Undead Horde Epics. I think I would go, for me, it's a toss-up between, like, Dark Elhain. I love her, but she's a daily login reward. I'm going to get her anyway, right? Vogoth and Mausoleum Mage. Vogoth is like the new shiny object in the game, and Mausoleum Mage is like the old, trusty, reliable, OP, you know, champion. They're two top-tier epics in the game. I think I would go with, I mean, I already have a bunch of increased defense champions anyway. I think that Vogoth is a little bit more unique, actually. No, I'm crazy. I'm going to go Mausoleum Mage. Vogoth is insane, but the fact that Mausoleum Mage has increased crit rate, increased defense, excuse me, and block debuffs on a 3-turn cooldown, and he has decreased speed on his A1, and he has a cleanse and a heal on his A3, like and he's pretty fast. Like, he just has an assortment of everything you would want in a support champion. So I'm gonna go Mausoleum Mage. For the rares here, I'm gonna go with, it's a toss-up between Frozen Banshee actually, and Doomscreech. I think I'm gonna go with Doomscreech. Frozen Banshee is a really, really good champion, but she used to be a little bit more unique when she was the first poison sensitivity champion in the game. Now that she's not anymore, I feel like she's great, but, you know, there's a few, you know, she's less unique. Doomscreech, though, there's not many champions, even including, like, legendary champions, that have the big version of increased defense on a 3-turn cooldown with a 30% turn meter boost. I mean, there's nobody who has that ability, right? And I feel like he's often overlooked. He has a lot of HP. He's an HP-based champion, awkwardly attacking HP on his A1. But, like, I think that he's a pretty cool champion. So I'll go Doomscreech. I think that he's also doesn't get a lot of love, so we'll give him a little bit of love in today's video.
Oh, well, now you're making me blush.
All right, Dark Elves, guys. We're actually moving through at a pretty nice pace here, right? Pretty nice pace, even with my soliloquy at the beginning of the video. For Dark Elves, it's going to be, drum roll please, it's gonna be Lydia. I mean, Lydia is god tier. I mean, and if I can get her without having to beat every dang faction crypt in the game, sure, I'll take her. An AoE attack with decreased defense, weaken, increased speed, and strengthen. What? It's funny because you kind of take Lydia for granted if you're lucky enough to have her after a while, but then you read this ability and you're like, wow, that is a lot, man. An AoE attack, decreased defense, weaken, increased speed, strengthen. What? Then, you know, put all of a target skills on or put block buffs and block active skills. Sure, on the A3, a pretty good A1, the auto attacks as well when your allies are CC'd. The passive where she can deny revivals and revive your whole team. Yeah, Lydia, I'll take you. Thank you. Welcome to the squad. I will go with, well, listen, Dark Gale is insane, man. I'm so happy, by the way. I've never really mentioned this on the channel. I should, because I kind of bitched and moaned quite a bit about how, oh, it's going to take us forever to get Dark Gale. At least he's the 4th champion that you get, you know, after the first 3, after Ryan, you know. So I think Dark Gale is the choice, right? I don't know. Are we excluding Doom Tower champions? The instant activation of poison, HP burn. He's placing an AoE decrease attack, decreasing duration of debuffs, increasing duration of debuffs. Poison, 3 poisons with poison sensitivity. This guy's nasty good. But Madame Ceres, excluding Doom Tower, it's Madame Ceres because of this Midnight Ritual, man. Like, this is still just like top echelon arena ability, with all apologies to Sylar, who's right there as well. In terms of my rare, Cold Heart. I think Cold Heart's the best rare in the game, and I really don't think it's super close because of Heartseeker. So there you go. There you have it. I could sit here and drool all over Cold Heart for the rest of the video, but I'll keep it short and sweet. You guys are probably familiar with Cold Heart. I did put a video out like 4 or 5 days ago talking about like 4 common mistakes people make when building Cold Heart, which I will link for you guys in the show notes below if you're curious. So, Knights Revenant. Well, Knights Revenant. I really want to give it to Whirlum Frostking because I think that buff on him was really, really solid. Strength and increased defense on a 3-turn cooldown with a decreased crit damage, decreased accuracy that cannot be resisted, increased crit damage on all allies, freeze on the A. This guy's like really an and the aura now. Defense in Doom Tower battles by 40%. Like Whirlum Frostking went from being like a average legendary champion to like really, I feel, underrated now legendary champion. But man, this new dude, Calvalax, he's really, really good. He's one of my most wanted champions. An extra hit for each poison debuff on the A2, and AoE decrease damage increases according to the number of poisons in enemy max HP on the A3. Yeah, Storm of Vitriol indeed. And then he has places 4 poison debuffs on all enemies for 2 turns at the start of each round. 50%, like you guys can just sit here and read it. This guy's insane. Insane champion. Like, what do people think of this dude? Yeah, he's really, really good. So if you want damage, if you want poison, you go with my man Calvalax. If you want support, you go with Whirlum. I'd probably go with Calvalax though, in a nutshell. But Tomb Lord, after his buff too, he might be in that conversation. Knights Revenant, all of a sudden, man, things are looking up for Knights Revenant. For the epics, I just want to make sure I'm not super crazy and not thinking this through. Okay, I'm not super crazy. It's Doom Priest and Rector Droth. I actually think that Rector Droth might be an overall better champion. But oh, this is a tough one, guys.
You don't have to do this.
People always say the same thing.
Skull Crown, Doom Priest, Sepulchral Sentinel. Oh my God. I love Rector Droth, man. I love Doom Priest. She's so good. She's so good. One of my most used champions. But I think that if I want a great support reviver in the game with very fast 109 speed, every time I talk about Rector Droth, every time I use her, she grows on me even more, right? I'm just such a huge fan of this champion. Decreased attack on the A1. She's got perfect veils everywhere. One of the best healers in the game, and revival as well. A solid revival at that. I think I'm gonna go Rector Droth. Am I crazy? Am I crazy, guys? Who'd you go with on the epic one? That one is a tough one. I might post a community tab poll and put Doom Priest, Rector Droth, Sepulchral Sentinel, and Skull Crown, and see who you guys choose. Miscreated Monster, 5 of them. Miscreated 2, man. Dude, I gotta say, Knights Revenant epics, they're insanely good. Jeez, I've even forgot about Miscreated. I wonder who you guys would choose. I'm gonna post the community tab poll. It's hard not to even go Miscreated Monster now. Oh God, I'm contractually obligated to go Ashwalker. Nah, I'm not going to. I think if I could choose anybody, I love Executioner. Acolyte is a little bit underrated too. I'm gonna go Renegade. Just because, like, I think that Renegade, in terms of the uniqueness of Renegade, I think that she's worth a shout out here, because the decreased cooldown of ally skills by 2 turns on a 5-turn cooldown, like, you know, with all due respect, obviously, like Prince Kaimar, right? But she's a rare, you know, and she's one of the only rares in the game that you can make a very, very strong case that she is endgame, like, viable. Endgame, used in the endgame often, you know? Coffin Smasher 2 is really, really good. So there's a lot. Knight Revenant, man, there's a lot of good champions there. A lot of good champions there. All right, Dwarves. Trunda, Brogni, Herndig, Mountain King, Molly, Samara, and Tormund. Holy crap, man. You guys are gonna think I'm nuts on this one. I know it. This is where I'm gonna lose most of you guys. But I am just... the dramatic effect that Tormund...
What would you do with a brain if you had one?
I didn't fuse Tormund back in the day because I was lazy. And I pulled him probably about 6 months later. And I was like, whoa, I knew he was good, but I didn't know he was this good. First of all, he deals a lot of damage. He's an AoE on his A1. His multipliers are really good, especially for a defense-based champion. He has a lot of defense, a lot of HP. But I kind of looked at him way too one-dimensionally, right? I looked at him as an arena specialist for so long. And then when I had him, I realized you can use this guy like everywhere, man. Brings a lot to the table. You know, and he's one of my favorite arena champions in the game. Brogny's just like so good though too. It's so tough to choose. Trunda is like one of my most used champions in the game, and I pulled Trunda early, right? Early on. I have a lot of respect for Trunda, what she brings to the table. But I also feel like you can find a lot of good nukers in this game, you know? So I would go with support over that for that reason. Same thing with Herndig. Dwarves. I love my man Grizzly Jarl, and I love...
Quit telling your stupid story and just die.
I think that Runekeeper Dazdurk is really good too. But really, man, the new champ, Demitha, no one's played her yet. So it's hard to choose a champion that nobody's played. But check out this kit, guys. First of all, 9 levels on the A1. What? Has a shield for 2 turns on the ally with lowest HP. On the A2, increase the duration of all ally buffs by 1 turn. Decrease duration of ally debuffs by 1 turn. Heals all allies 2.5% of max HP. Heals by a further 2.5% for each turn added or removed from the duration of the buffs. Kind of cool, right? That can really... It's a really cool ability. And that can result in a ton of heals. Place a block damage buff on all allies for 1 turn, and a continuous heal for 2 turns on a 3-turn cooldown. Man, Channel the Bloodline is one of the best support abilities, right? And now we have another block damage option out there as well. So very, very cool. Defense in all battles by 20%. Yeah, she's a really good champion, like top tier champion. So I guess I'm going to go with her, guys. I like a lot. I even like Rockbreaker a lot. You guys know I'm a huge fan of Rockbreaker. AoE Provoke, really cool A1 and a really cool passive. Anyway, I'll shut up and move it along here. I guess I'm just going to go with a safe choice out of all these rares. No, I was going to go Bulwark, but I really think that Khazar Deepheart is my choice. He's a really cool champion. He is Void Rare, but he does a lot of damage, right? An AoE attack with each critical hit fills his turn meter on the A2. On the A1, decreased speed, which I love to have on the A1. And then on the A3, you have increased accuracy for 2 turns on a 3-turn cooldown. Very, very useful. And has a decreased defense on all enemies. The weak version, but still, sometimes that's all you need with all the nukers going around in this game right now. So yeah, man, he's really, really good rare champion. Shadowkin. This might be the toughest of tough, right? Because I think that like these 3 champions are 3 of my faves in the game. Lady Kimmy's insanely good. Insanely good. What is it? Blind Seer, Lady Kimmy, and Siphi are the fastest champions in the game. 115 speed, AoE decrease attack, decrease speed, AoE increase accuracy, increase speed. Man, she's nasty. She's nasty. Rio Bone Spear, bro. This champion has a stun, has all these debuffs, has good multipliers, has continuous heal on the A1, has a cleanse with block debuffs on a 2-turn, for 2 turns, excuse me, with a heal on a 3-turn cooldown. Like, Rio Bone Spear is amazing. Amazing champion. I mean, even Jintoro's a good champion, but, I mean, if I could choose one champion, if I could still get Ninja for free for the next 2 weeks, I would obviously go. I think I'd go Rio Bone Spear, but Lady Kimmy's so good too. Who would you go with out of these champions? Right, this is a real tough one. Let me know in the comments. You guys gotta empathize with me. This is tough, right? For the next 2 weeks, I'll choose Lady Kimmy or Rio, probably Rio Bone Spear. But for after that, I think I'd go with Ninja because you can never get him again, and this dude is just the boss killer of the game. Every day or week that goes by, I think that it's one of those things. You get Ninja for free, and I think that all the psychological effects of like having him be like model after a popular Fortnite streamer, right? Like, what if like, do we look at him, nothing against Ninja, like Tyler Blevins, right? Like, he's a good dude. I met him several times, like worked with him several times. He's a good guy. But do some people, like, you know, because he's free and because he's modeled after a real life person, do we look down on the champion for any reason? You know, kind of like the Scylla the Drakes effect, right? A champion that we get for free, we kind of say, it's a free champion, psychologically, whatever. I don't know what the answer to that is, but he's so good, man. Got the guaranteed freeze, the more damage against bosses, and then this Hail Burn is just the instantly activating HP burns. Any HP burn debuffs instantly activated. It can just deal more damage than almost anything else against bosses in the game, man. Ninja. Insane, right? Like how I kind of avoided answering the question there. Ninja in 2 weeks. Before 2 weeks, we'll go with somebody else. All right, for the Shadowkin epics, guys, Tarag, there's a lot of good choices here, but I'm gonna go Genbo, man. He's a really fun champion for the arena. Like, I passed up on Trunda. I'll go Genbo instead, right? I'll get my nukes from Genbo. Really cool. It does a nice multipliers here on the A2, and then he's ignore unkillable if he's under increased attack. He also has increased crit rate, increased crit damage, extra turn to kind of lead off with as well. Very fun champion, very cool champion. And then Odashai, my last champion spotlight in today's video, guys. Not too long on the duration, 42, 43 minutes, I guess. Odashai, very, very good rare champion. The only good rare they've added this year, I think, with all due respect to my Ashwalker. We have a Provoke on the A1, defense-based champion, an AoE attack, shield on himself for 2 turns, equal to his max HP. Again, defense-based. And then he has block debuffs, buff on all allies for 1 turn, and an increased defense for 2 turns on a 3-turn cooldown. I love the block debuffs buff. I think it's one of the best in the game. So there you go, guys. Odashai. He is my rare choice. Really the only good rare, in my opinion, out of all of the Shadowkin, even though Vagabond is the creepiest champion in the game. Yeah, those are heads, kids. Those are heads in her basket. And she looks just the type of girl you really want to take home to mom, you know? Guys, thank you so much for watching the video. Really appreciate you guys. And let me know, what are your opinions on these champions? Who are your, like, ride or die, go-to, most wanted champions in the game? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you. And as always, take care, guys.